Dear Swami Sarvalokanandaji, Swami Shastraganandaji, brother monks, learned members of different faculties, students, alumni, admirers, well-wishers and friends of our residential college at Narendrapur. This is really a matter of great delight to note that our Ramakrishna Mission Residential College at Narendrapur is going to hold its valedictory session of year-long Diamond Jubilee celebration today on 3rd August 2021. Although it's true that the spell of 60 years is not a very long time for an educational institution, yet an institution which has been the vision child of Swami Lokeshwaranandaji, who was in his own right a true and successful visionary and very respected educationist, an erudite speaker, an administrator of high caliber, a charismatic organizer, a towering personality, model of a Bhadralok, and as popular as a matinee idol, is no cheap occasion. I strongly feel that the inmates of this college, even after 47 years of his living Narendrapur and 22 years after leaving this mundane world, can very well feel palpably the footprints of this great Swami. On this occasion, I salute this great soul. I also fondly remember Sri Vikas Sri Sannal, Swami Mumukshanandaji, Swami Muktirupanandaji, Swami Suparnanandaji, Swami Bhudevanandaji. Also kudos to the present principal Swami Shastraganandaji for all that he has done for this college within such a short time. Now a word of thank you for Swami Sarvalokanandaji, the secretary of the governing body of this college, for kindly giving this opportunity to me to address all of you virtually. As we all are aware that the college had an online inaugural function of the Diamond Jubilee commemoration exactly a year ago, and everyone hoped at the time that the concluding ceremony would be conducted in the conventional manner. Unfortunately, it's not to be. We have gone online once again due to the persistence of the COVID pandemic. Nonetheless, I am delighted to note that this pandemic has not dampened the spirit of the college in organizing various programs all through 1 year, which includes various academic webinars, service activities for different sections of the society, setting up academic archives, etc., as part of its Diamond Jubilee commemoration. Instead of attributing on the nature a few adjectives like dead, dull, insentient, and so on, the age-old spiritual civilization of India has always looked upon nature as the living spring of knowledge. Swami Vivekananda, by way of bringing out the inner meaning of an Upanishadic tradition, stressed that, quote, true education is gained by living in the constant communion with nature, quoted. To appreciate the role that a pristine natural ambience plays in the enhancement of the educational brilliance of an individual and the institution as well, we must remember Swami Vivekananda's elegant definition of education as, quote unquote, the manifestation of the perfection already in man. Indeed, it's in bringing out this potential excellence that nature acts as a powerful catalyst. The vision of Swami Vivekananda finds an expression in Ramakrishna Mission Residential College, Narendrapur, where education is an experience lived and practiced in its tranquil, natural milieu. With its beautiful trees, the rolling parks, the serene lakes, and its thrilling birds, Narendrapur is majestic in its look, color, and fragrance. These inspire in its inmates a deep sense of fraternity and identification. And no less does this feast of scenic beauty invite the students to a world of exploration. Indeed, so deep is the influence of the sylvan setting on the educational ambience of Narendrapur that one might well be reminded of the ideal of Tapavana, the ancient abode of education and culture in the woods. This college, thus nestling amidst nature's bounty, has been striving to help manifest in its inmates the two dimensions of education: academic excellence imbued with the depth of ethics and morality. Education, as conceived by Swamiji Maharaj, is a dynamic one. It can take you where the sky is the only limit. Again, it touches the stark realities of mundane ground. Education means growth and development. Now, what do we understand by growth and development? We may define these two words very briefly like this. A child is born, he becomes a youth and ultimately becomes old. This natural evolution is growth, but there are some who take special interest for their development, mental and physical. They improve upon what they were supposed to be in natural course of things. For instance, you have bone, muscles, etc. You do have muscles even without taking any conscious effort like physical exercise, etc. But if you go to any gymnasium, you develop your biceps and muscles. You are more healthy than one who has not done this. This is development. This difference between growth and development is the core theme of education. Now, often a question is asked, Sir, are all your boys whom you teach are assets to the society, good people, and so on? No, it can't be. Firstly, our boys are not living in our ambience for all the time to come. Before he joined Narendrapur, for example, he was not in the ambience of Narendrapur, nor he will be in the same ambience after he completes his academic education here. This is one reason why all those who pass out from Narendrapur can't prove to be asset to the society in equal measure. Even some may prove to be liability also. Secondly, and more importantly, Sanskara, to speak in the language of Vedanta, is a very important factor to reckon with. Vedanta says every human being is born with Sanskara, which is so typical of himself. This Sanskara makes a Swami Lokeshwarananda, a Sachin Tendulkar, or a Saurabh Ganguly, and even an Osama bin Laden. Their sanskaras are their own. This is why we find two brothers born of the same parents. One has become a saint and another has turned out to be a liability to the society. This is because of difference in their sanskaras. Now one may argue, can't you change this sanskara? No, we can't. Only God can. Then why do you claim? The same person may argue that yours is a college with a difference. Yes, we claim and we rightly claim so. As has been already told, that Sanskaras cannot be changed by any human being except God. That is why Swami Vivekananda describes his master, Sri Ramakrishna, as Kapalo Mochana, Aghadusana, Mochana, Grintana Kolidor. He did never ascribe these qualities either to himself or to anybody else. He did it only to Sri Ramakrishna, the incarnation of God for this age. Then one may very well argue, then what's your role? Yes, we have a definite role. We can refine the crude form of the sanskaras. For example, a boy is there in this institution, well, he is kleptomaniac. As has been said that while his kleptomaniac status cannot be changed altogether, but the frequency of his bad practice due to kleptomania can certainly be reduced to a great extent by motivation, persuasion and counseling. We can always fine tune and lessen one's bad sanskaras, but we can't dispel this tendency altogether. This fine tuning is the development, and this is the sine qua non factor in education. Like all other Ramakrishna Mission educational institutions, Narendrapur College, through its joyous journey of 60 years, strove to stand as a testimony to Swamiji's vision of education. To quote his words, I quote, "Education is not the amount of information that's put into your brain and runs riot there, undigested, all your life. We must have life building, man making, character making assimilation of ideas." Unquote. Thus, Swami Lokeshwaranandaji, the celebrated founder of this educational hub of Narendrapur and one of those very respected monks of our holy order, had envisaged that everyone who will be coming within the fold of this institution will work hard to offer a man-making, character-building education as preached by Swamiji Maharaj to all sections of his larders. Such an education will only enable them to lead a disciplined life, to face the inevitable hardships and withstand the shocks of life courageously, to develop concern and love for fellow human beings, and to contribute to the collective growth of the society across all fields. These positive traits have been displayed by many of its alumni in their lives, and I hope that this will remain an unflinching aim of all its future students. Here, may I quote Tagore, "জীবনে জীবন যোগ করা না হলে কৃত্রিম পণ্যে ব্যর্থ হবে গানের পসরা." Accommodation, adjustment, integration, sympathy and fulfillment are certain elements which constitute inner core of education. Expansion of head and heart is education. Expansion is education. Contraction is ignorance. Fellow feeling, mutual trust and pure love, etc. are the qualities we develop in course of education. Swami Lokeshwaranandaji had made it a point to reach out to the students hailing from poor economic backgrounds and provide them scholarship and assistance to pursue their education. All these have been the hallmarks of Narendrapur College since its genesis and continue to be so even today. I wish this premier institute of our state a very, very bright future. Before I wrap up, I would like to thank both the secretary and the principal of this college, namely Swami Sarvalokanandaji and Shastraganandaji, for giving me this opportunity to share a few thoughts with you all, though virtually. I also thank all of you present here. At this pious moment of Diamond Jubilee concluding ceremony of the college, I pray to Sri Sri Thakur, Sri Ma and Swamiji Maharaj to bless you all and enable this college to reach greater milestones in years ahead. Let us pray to Swami Vivekananda, our leader, in the following words. असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मायमृतंगमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Lead us from unreal to real, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. Om peace, peace, peace. Thank you so very much.